Hi everybody, it's John from Friends, Money, and Life, up in my first development property right outside of Philadelphia, and I'm sitting in front of my 65 convertible Mustang that I had restored a little while ago. That's a long story, so we'll get into that a little bit later, and I can give you some advice about that too. Not a ton of it, but I've seen the good and bad of the restoration business. But what I really want to throw out there today in this segment of the video is why I'm doing this. It's very important for me to explain to people why we have the blog Friends, Money, and Life, and how we can really help. But to be totally honest with everybody, I didn't do very well in high school. I skated by, just made it. Couldn't wait to get out. When I got out, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Did a couple of semesters at a community college, but unfortunately I didn't have a ton of direction. I wasn't sure what road to travel at all. I was most probably on the wrong one, and you find out about that a little bit later in life, and that's probably one of the main reasons I want to do this blog, because I would rather give people the heads up, get off the road you're on, get on this road. This blog may not be for everybody. It may not be for somebody who's my age and is in my position. Maybe I can't help you out too much. If I can, wonderful. There's other things we'll be talking about all the time. And we're going to be heading in every direction you can possibly imagine. But I would like to think my main goal is to help people in my situation. I was a contractor. I'm still a contractor. We get to a certain level sometimes of success, and it stays at that level. I don't think that's necessary. I think we can take it higher. As a contractor personally, I was able to use my abilities to get me to that next level, and of course we'll be talking all about that. But my goal in this blog is to help people that maybe they're not headed to college, maybe they don't want to go to college. Is college right for them? It's not right for everybody. It certainly wasn't right for me. I didn't know what I was doing there. I was just buying some time. That's all I was doing. So how do we get from a point where we didn't go to college, we don't have this awesome job coming out, and good luck finding one of those now anyway, but point being is, how can we get to the level of success that we want in our lives without having to go to college, without having somebody hand it to you, and don't even accept it. Maybe a little bit if you have to invest in something, but I think you understand what I mean. There's no handouts on this blog, and I'll make that clear. We work for what we get, bottom line. But this blog is going to help people who are maybe struggling a little bit about their direction. And that's what it's really about for me. I want to be able to help you guys, you girls, anybody. We can discuss any topic, but mainly how to succeed in life. And when you do succeed, maybe it's not important to everybody, but I got to think that majority of us, when we do get to that level of success, we get to enjoy more of life. It gives us more room to do more things, to travel to more places, to go on more adventures with your family. So we're going to be diving into all of it, and I think I'll be able to make a difference, and that's my point. I really do want to make a difference, because as you'll find out in all these videos down the road, where I've come from and where I am now is a journey. And it takes a while, and it takes almost everything you have. Some of the factors in our lives that maybe keep us at a certain level in life. And sometimes it's hard to obtain the next level of success if, of course, that's what we desire. But the first thing is risk. There are a lot of risks that are taken out there every day. I personally take calculated risks. I figure out all my risks that I'm about to take before I make a move. And of course, we all need to do that. So you'll need to do your due diligence. You'll need to look deep into it and do all your research before making any move in life. You can cross the street without getting too much research, though. I'd say the next one is the motivation factor. This has got to be the biggest one for me, personally. Motivation is key, probably, to my success. And of course, a desire and a passion. But motivation, by far, if you do not have the motivation or learn how to keep the motivation in your life day in and day out, I'm sorry everyone, but it's going to be hard to get to the next level of success. It takes a desire and a want each and every day. I think the next very important factor in any level of success, and I say this because mine is very tight, it's a support system. And when you have assembled the support system, brought together, assembled, for lack of a better word, it's going to make your life a lot easier. It's going to make the change to your level of success much easier. Absolutely. I have a wonderful wife that supports everything that I do, but please also understand that because I have all these companies and I do all this motivating and I move and I work all the time, I always make time for my family. I am a scheduled type person, and I make sure that playtime is big time around the Cawley house. So you have to have a good support system, but it's not just from the family, it's from everything. It's your banker, it's your mortgage broker, it's your insurance agent, it's your real estate agent. You must build your support system. It may take a little time, it's okay. You may go through a few of these people that I just mentioned and it didn't work out. Well, unfortunately, you're gonna have to go out and find another one. You cannot do everything yourself. You must have a good support system. All right, it's pet peeve time. Keep rolling. Pet peeve number one. Why do you people throw your trash on the ground? If you do that, stop it. It's costing the taxpayers money. Somebody else has to pick it up. Hold it for a few minutes. I'm sure you can find a trash can somewhere. Johnny likes to pick up trash, but as I get older, I don't want to be able to bend down here and pick up the trash. Stop throwing the trash on the ground. All of you guys.
Extreme Auto Interiors. We rent from John, great guy. We do a lot of work on custom high-end interiors and cars.
John does all the interiors best on the East Coast. I would have to say East Coast?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't get past the East Coast too much. Does all the Philadelphia Eagles. Go check them out, extremeautos.com.
Extremeautointeriors.com.
Extremeautointeriors.com. And we're heading to my third investment property, which is in a little borough called Jenkintown. It's right outside of Philadelphia. And it is 3 commercial retail stores and 2 apartments. Really nice community. I loved it. When I didn't even know about it. I saw it in a city paper and I said, oh wow, a Montgomery County property for sale. Let me go check it out. As soon as I drove down the street, oh wow, it was sweet. Everybody was walking around with their coffees, enjoying the day, looking in the windows. So I thought to myself, I'd be able to rent these all the time because of the foot traffic. And of course, foot traffic is key to any commercial investment. We're at my second real estate development property in Winmore, Pennsylvania. It's a little town outside of Philadelphia again. I wanted to describe this property a little bit. It's an industrial lot, 1.25 acres. I bought this from a little old lady. Yes, that's right. The story goes, my father met a guy whose wife was her mother, the wife's mother. So it was his mother-in-law. And she was looking to sell it. Her husband had passed away at an early age, and she had all these tenants in there, and she was getting an income, but the property was in complete disarray. Cars were everywhere. It was just became one huge junkyard. I think I'll have to try to find some photos for everybody because you would not believe it. But try to imagine an industrial dump. It just came really bad. I mean, nobody cared anymore. When you own properties like this, if you don't have a property manager to watch over them, you need to do it yourself, and you need to be diligent about that. You need to be here pretty much every other day. I'm here, but I run my masonry company out of the property, so I'm here every day anyway. With my friend Du here, he's from Vietnam. He works in safety hoists here. He's been working here for about, what, 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
3 years. He's the main man in there. He runs the warehouse in there. He's a production manager. He puts everything together. And how long have you been in the country?
I've been here about 30 years.
30 years, man. That is so cool. So, Du has been working in the country legally for 30 years, helping the country. He pays his taxes, he provides for his family, he does the right thing. The guy's here at work every day, working. You never hear him complain. He's not looking for a handout. That's how we need to be. And I want to talk a little bit about the process that it takes if you're considering taking a development step. Instead of buying something, a duplex or a triplex or something already built, and you want to take it from the ground up. It's a big task, don't get me wrong, but again, you know, it always goes back to what I talk about. If you have the heart and the desire, then anything can be accomplished. I mean, it may look daunting on paper, and at first it was when I did my other ones, but it's definitely something that you learn, and it's not so bad. But if you have that support system, that team in place, then really, you know, you're the boss, you're the coordinator, you're the motivator. You don't have to be the brains of the operation. This was the first house I ever bought. It was great. Wow, bought it off a little old Italian guy and his wife. And you know what happened? He wound up falling off a ladder and dying. You buy your first house. We'll talk about all the mortgages. That's a lot to talk about, and we can do that. There's an FHA mortgage, and there's different types of programs for everybody. They're really available out there. So don't be shy. Even if you think you only have 10% to put down, you know, you have to at least investigate, at least try. I mean, you'll never know unless you try. So, I mean, ask the question. I have X amount of dollars. Is there anything available? Well, there might be. Well, there you go. And you're on your way. So for me, that's what I knew. I mean, I knew it was going to be a good investment. I knew it was a long-term investment. Real estate, for me, is 10 to 15 years minimum before I sold. Unless somebody came out to me with a ton of money, because you know what they say, everything is for sale. So I bought this property and I moved in. I was a single guy. I did just meet my wife at the time, but we weren't living together. So I moved in, I had some buddies, and it reminds me of a story of this guy I had here for a little while. Turned out to be a bit of a fraud. He was a friend of a friend, but he always, every single night, would play the same 3 chords from the Violent Femmes. What is it? Now what is it? Oh, I forget, Eugene, my producer. Oh, I forget what it is. The 3 same chords of the Violent Femmes song, and I can't remember now. It used to drive me crazy. Hey, stop playing that song. Do I recommend like having your buddies come over? Yeah, I mean, it could work out because they help pay the bills. Or you know what, everybody? You could buy a duplex. A duplex. Banks love duplexes. You live on the first floor or second floor. You rent out the other one. The bank knows you're there. It's basically your primary, but you're pulling in an income from the upstairs or downstairs. They love that. I would look into that if you were a single guy or girl, or anybody. Just look into it. It's not a bad idea for a first investment. It's not for everybody. You got to become a landlord. It's going to take a little bit more work. What doesn't? I wanted to bring you to my first development property that I developed from the beginning. This was a land development acquisition. So I bought the land, tore down a small building, and brought all the plans together, and we can talk about that. But I wanted to show you the property, but bought it from the beginning, and then we built 10 units at 1,000 square foot each, separate meters, all bathroom. They're great units, they're raw space, they're all rented, and it was a great investment, and I'm glad I really did it, because 7 years later, you know, the equity is so much more now. I'm able to do more things. It just gives me the opportunity and the great feeling that I have that when I do get older and in my retirement years, I don't know if I'll ever retire, I'm going to be honest with you, because I really like doing this. It really just keeps me so active. I think I'll probably stick with it, and I would just go after your dream when you're doing developments. Come back to the site, check up on us, we'll have categories wherever it goes, but you'll get it all with Friends Money Life. I hope you like the blooper. I asked the officer, and I quote, "May I sing one more, officer?" And guess what he said? No. Oh, huge.